Welcome to the NSIC Spotlight, the voice of the NSIC student athletes, powered by gpac. gpac, growing people and companies. I'm your host, Nick Corner, Assistant Commissioner at the Northern Sun. Today, we're talking about 2026 NSIC Men's Basketball Tournament MVP, Caleb Siwek of the UMD Bulldogs. Caleb, welcome to the Spotlight.
Thank you for having me on. I'm glad to be here.
Let's start with you telling us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I am a redshirt junior. I'm from Rosemont, Minnesota, just outside the Twin Cities. Yeah, and I'm the point guard on the UMD men's basketball team.
The NSIC Tournament Championship Bulldog team. After championship appearances the last three of the four season, what does it mean to finally take home that tournament trophy?
Yeah, I mean, it feels good. Obviously, like you said, this is my third year being here now and 4 years being at UMD. And obviously, the last two, we couldn't get it done. And just kind of that feeling of just getting second place, being so close, being at the mountaintop and not quite getting there. It sucked, honestly. Seeing it on the seniors' faces. I was playing one of the years, I was redshirting the other, but I mean, both times it hurt a lot. So being there again, yesterday, I just wanted to get there and actually win the game because, I just had seen what it was like past couple years with some of the older guys and being there last year and not quite getting there. And I had a bunch of alumni texting me saying, "You guys got to win this. You got to win this. Do it for us." So it's just kind of cool to win it for the alumni too, the guys who couldn't quite get it done in the past. So it's a great feeling.
Most losses during the regular season, but you win the NSIC North Division title. You come into the tournament as a sixth seed with this year's tournament seeding criteria, knowing all the games were win or go home, starting with the first round game over a week ago. What was the team's mantra going into this postseason?
Yeah, I think Coach Wick, it's just kind of he talked to us. It's like let's just see what type of run we can make. At the time we were struggling a little bit. The season was very up and down, and there's really no expectations, which sometimes can actually help a lot. We weren't picked to finish first in the NSIC tournament, or everyone didn't think we were favorites or stuff like that. We were obviously a sixth seed coming into it, so it's just one game at a time, but let's see what type of run we can make. And obviously, Minot gave us all we could take at home, going in overtime with them and, barely getting away with that one. And then we just got to the Pentagon. It's like, all right, well, let's just see what we can do, and then every game we won and, the belief stayed there. And Coach Wick kept instilling that belief and confidence in us that we can really do this and let's just make a run and see what happens. And, obviously it ended up working out pretty well. So I think it's just, guys were just very bought in and it's just kind of like that almost that underdog mentality, like we're the sixth seed, it doesn't really matter, there's no expectations on us. Every game at the Pentagon, the other team is the higher seed, so we weren't technically expected to win. So it's just kind of the underdog mentality and go out there and play as hard as we can and see what happens, and obviously worked out pretty well. So
Justin Wick talked about how this team has evolved during the season, with a lot of guys earning playing time after spending years on as a backup role. What is the culture that Coach Wick has built at UMD, and what's it like to play for him?
yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, he has built this program from the ground up. He came here when it wasn't a very good program, and obviously he's turned it around to be a powerhouse every year. I mean, you expect UMD to be good every single year now for basketball, and that's all credit to Coach Wick. And you can see it. Guys don't really transfer out of this program all too much, and in a era of NIL and transfer portal and stuff like that, guys tend to stay at UMD, and it's for a good reason. I mean, everyone loves playing under Coach Wick. He's a very personable guy. He's a very good coach. He's going to coach you hard. He's going to make you a better player, make you a better person. So it's just great, playing under him for 4 years now. He's been awesome. And, just seeing all these guys that have redshirted, including myself, just kind of grind their way through the season of redshirting and then, being able to play on the court now is a really cool thing to see. Not too many transfers in and out. A lot of guys who had stuck here for 3, 4, even some guys at 5 years now who haven't played too much and now are seeing time on the court and now it's paying off. It's really cool.
You earned MVP honors after just going off on Tuesday night, scoring 34 points, including 19 in the first half, build an 11-point lead at the break. What was working for you on Tuesday night?
Yeah, I just kind of went out there. I wanted to be one of the leaders. Obviously, I am one of the older guys. I played in one of the championship games before, and I could tell, there's a lot of nerves from our team, which rightfully so. It's a big game. It's a game we really wanted to win. So I just wanted to go out there and, try to be the leader that I was. And, a couple shots weren't dropping right away. I got a few good mid-range looks right away. I was a little frustrated about that because they were pretty good looks. But then, Coach Wick, the assistant coaches, Drew Blair, Tyler Peterson, they're very good at, instilling that confidence in me and telling me just keep shooting it. All my teammates are very good at that as well. So, they just told me to keep shooting it early in the game. And, I came off a ball screen, got a three to go, and then that started feeling good. And then from there, I saw a couple more drop, and it was just kind of one of those things where I was just kind of in that zone after a certain point, late in that first half. All the shots that felt like I was shooting was going in. So it was a good feeling to catch fire like that in a game like that. Just kind of being the leader out there, and having someone that my teammates can look up to in that game, and it was just a very good feeling, when that happens in that type of setting. It was really cool.
So come game day, any superstitions or routines that you need to do before the game?
Yeah, I'm not a crazy superstitious person. Coach Wick actually is very superstitious, so we're a little different in that sense. But um, I would say one thing is I always have to take a shower right before you leave, no matter if we're leaving the hotel or if I'm leaving my apartment to head to a game. That I think kind of gets me going. I'm a little older and my body's not as great, so warm shower kind of gets me warmed up a little bit, gets me feeling good. It gets me ready to go. Kind of gets me in that mindset too. And then I'm just a big music guy before games, and honestly, a lot of times I'm country music, which I don't know if that's popular or not before games, but I kind of like it slow just to keep me calm. Sometimes I listen to other music, but a lot of times I'm just country music guy. Keep it slow, keep it calm, keep it relaxed before games.
This win guarantees you a spot in the NCAA regional tournament. Most likely, you're going to be the 8 seed going to that, meaning you'll be playing the host team, which most likely is the number 3 team in the nation, Washburn. After missing out on the NCAA tournament last year, what does it mean to get back, and what are keys to making another postseason run?
Yeah, I mean, it means everything, from what happened last year to losing on our home floor early in the SIC tournament, to where we're at now. It's huge for everyone that's in this program right now. And I think we're just going to continue to have that underdog mentality like we've had the last 3, 4 weeks of the year. I mean, like, no one's going to expect us to win this game, I'm sure. I mean, we'll be the 8 seed, probably playing the 1 seed Washburn at their place. It'll be a packed gym. I'm sure it'll be loud in there. But, our guys are excited and our guys are ready. And I have the full confidence that our team will be ready because we showed it at the Pentagon and games like Augie, where it's basically a home game for them against a good team. We responded so well to the crowd and to the energy and to the noise. And we kind of dug in and fed into that energy and used it in a good way for us. So I'm very excited to see how our team does, but I have full confidence that we'll be ready come game time at Washburn if that's where it is.
Final question for you. What is the best piece of advice you've been given during your athletic career?
I would say just stay patient and stick to it. Came in, thought I was gonna play as a freshman right away, and then ended up redshirting, and that didn't sit well with me right away because I didn't understand why I wasn't playing and stuff like that, and it kind of made me frustrated. But long term is the right decision to make, and that even kind of goes throughout my whole career. I've had ups and downs. I had a pretty good start to my season last year, and then obviously I had a pretty bad ankle injury that set me back for 9 months or whatever. And then even this year, I started off strong. And then kind of midway through the year, I had some, ups and downs, some, a little shooting slump, whatever you want to call it. But then, if you just stay patient, stick to it, and mentally stay in it, it'll always come back. And, now it's kind of towards the end of the season, I started to get my shooting back and my confidence back and all that. And, so it's just kind of one of those things, the seasons are long, you just got to stick to it and stay confident and believe in yourself. And, good things will happen in the long run.
Yeah, definitely a grind. You definitely peaked at the right time of the season, picking up that NSIC tournament championship win. NCAA selection shows this Sunday night. You can find out the Bulldogs and the rest of the team's fate aired on NCAA.com. That's going to wrap up this week's show. Thanks again to our sponsor, gpac. Caleb, thanks and best of luck to you and the Bulldogs in the NCAA tournament.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.